Hey guys, it's a pretty chill start to today. Psych! Because it's another episode of the Funny Business Podcast! Welcome everybody to another episode. Matt, how are you today? How are things?
I love life, man. I'm just high on life. Things are fantastic. Hope you're all having a great Friday. Hope you're all ready for the weekend. Or if you don't listen till Monday, hope you're ready to knock this week out of the park. Going on vacation this week. Super pumped. Very, very excited. Going to a state I've never been to before.
What state?
Never been to North Carolina. Very excited for that.
Really?
Yeah. No,
okay.
The only states I've been to other than like southern states are Maryland, Delaware, and Florida. That's about it.
Now you usually do hop around there. That's more for like your parents, right? That usually go down to North Carolina?
No, we never really go down to North Carolina.
Oh,
I mean, I have
okay.
family down there, so like we've went, like my parents have gone like once, maybe twice.
Gotcha.
But yeah, a little destination wedding this weekend, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Ooh. That's the one I'm saying this for the third time probably. That's the one your mom's officiating, right?
Yes, my mom is officiating the wedding. And if anybody out there needs an officiator, let me know. I'll get her people in contact with your people.
So wait, can't she technically make us Jedi Masters because she got
She is, yeah. So she can. She's technically a rabbi. She can make you pretty much anything you want. I think she can even make you a wizard. She can knight people. She can make us knights, like actual knights. Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, drop the entire idea that we were going to become ordained. Let's just have your mom like come in on the show and give us, let's have the Funny Business audience decide exactly what we should be, and then we should be dubbed the whatever the audience wants us to be.
I think we really should just get made Jedi Knights. I really do. I think that's the move.
But the knight thing, that's kind of because we'd be like Sir Matt and Sir Mike. Like,
well, it's either we get called Sir or Master.
Master. Yeah, I don't know.
Or we do both. We get called Master Sir.
Here's Master Sir. Here's another thing that I've mentioned a couple times to some of my students lately. So you know how like people get their doctorates and you're supposed to call them doctor?
Yep.
Okay, where the hell is our accreditation with us being called master? Because we both have our masters. We should be called masters.
I tell people when I first graduated, I was like, hey, you have to call me Master Matt. No one really did it, but they should because we're technically masters.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've been saying. So, I think we should be either knights or masters, but I think we already are masters, so. But anyway.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool being called Sir.
Sir?
It's like Sir Charles Russell.
I just don't like when students call me Mr. Gambita. And it kind of like still kind of makes me a little uncomfortable. I'm like, just please call me. Or Professor. That's another one. Professor Mike. Ooh. Or Professor Gambita. I'm like, guys, just call me Mike. Like, please.
Or, that other name that I call you that, just for the two of us.
What is it, Matt?
I'm not gonna repeat it on the podcast.
Oh.
But I think you know what it is. Yeah.
Anyway, let's jump into today's topics. Matt, I found this news on Facebook, on the book face, when it wasn't down. And I think it's a pretty interesting story. I think we can all not relate to, but for me personally, I can certainly relate to. But I think we can have a great discussion about it. This is about a photographer at a wedding. This is a wedding photographer. The wedding photographer was probably at the time of the reception and just getting things settled in. And he was waiting for a plate of food. He was denied a plate of food. And what he did was he deleted all the photos on his camera right in front of the groom. And that's it. So it is an interesting story. But Matt, I dug a little deeper because based on some of the information, it's a really tricky headline. The person says, "I'm not really a photographer. I'm a dog groomer. I take lots of photos of dogs all day to put on my Facebook and Instagram. It's quote my thing, if that makes sense." A friend who wanted to save money convinced him to click his wedding pictures. I told him that's not really my forte, but he convinced me by saying he didn't care if they were perfect. The photographer agreed to do a shoot for $250. Holy crap, what a steal.
Oh my God. I love this story so much.
He started working around 11 a.m. and was due to finish at around 7:30 p.m. Holy crap, that's a quick day for him. Around 5 p.m., food is being served, and I was told I cannot stop to eat because I need to be the photographer. In fact, they didn't save me a spot at any table. And then he continued, I'm getting tired and at this point kind of regretting doing this to next to nothing. It's also unbelievably hot. The venue is an old Veterans Legion, and it's 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and there's no AC. There was no facility to get water. He told the groom that he needed a 20-minute break to get something to eat and drink. However, the groom told him that, quote, I need to either be photographer or leave without pay. What? Matt, your thoughts?
So many thoughts. I don't even know where to start. I don't know. Let's start with this. So weddings are pretty important, and like you want the photos to come out well, correct?
It's a time capsule. Like you
Exactly.
get to capture your special day.
Right. So maybe you don't hire a dog groomer as your photographer. Like that's pretty dramatic. Like, oh yeah, I groom dogs. Oh, I could take photos. Like what? How does that correlate? Like this is your wedding day. I understand you're trying to save some money, but like guaranteed you could have found a photographer for a decent price that probably takes better quality photos than a guy who cleans dogs. Nothing against people who clean dogs.
Right. Or just even hire a student who's like into photography and like needs to, I mean, A, you're going to get the experience, but B, you're also going to pay them at a decent rate that, you know, they're not, you know, I always have the not these conversations, but more so these like, you know, these open discussions of the fact that how photographers and videographers should be paid the amount that they should be paid at. And there should be no discussion or nothing to be like, oh, well, that's too high or, oh, that's too low. But I think the groom pretty desperate to hire somebody who's a dog groomer. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, give him $250 to work from 11 a.m. and not finish until 7:30 p.m. I mean, if I can do the math correctly here, Matt.
That is insane.
I'm just trying to think what would it be an hour for $250. So it's from 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's
9.
8 and a half.
8.5.
We'll go 8.5. I mean, you're only making $29 an hour.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not a photographer, and I wouldn't do it for $250. No shot. There's no shot. I like. I'm not saying I would ask like. Excuse me. I'm not saying I would ask like the price of like a regular like wedding photographer. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But $250 for like a lot of work, because that's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's a lot of pressure. Like that's not even. I wouldn't even say yes to that. I don't even care if I'm not qualified.
I had to reference. So I've only done one wedding and one wedding only, and I will not bring up the reason why I'm only doing one wedding and one wedding only. However, I was talking to Jenna about this, like kind of teasing out the segments for this week, and I asked her. I was like, well, I'm like, I can understand as a photographer that sometimes you don't eat during the day. And she specifically referenced Margot, who is a avid photographer, professional photographer who does weddings. Jenna said that Margot doesn't even have time to eat sometimes, and she literally packs a lunch. And I said, well, at least she's aware that there's a potential possibility that she can't eat. So at least she has a packed lunch ready to go just in case that scenario does happen. But it is the person's job as the photographer to take pictures of the day. And, you know, I to me, like everyone in my wedding, not everyone in my wedding, but like those, like the DJ, the photographer, the videographer, if I decide to get one, like they're all getting a meal. Like take the time. No one wants to be filmed eating food. Like that is a time when everybody can just enjoy themselves and eat. Like the dude can eat fast, but get back up and start taking photos after we're done eating.
Right. And someone like Margot like does this for work. She knows that she's not going to get a meal. When you hire a dog groomer as a wedding photographer, he's probably not going to know that he doesn't have time for a meal. And guess what? You're right. They're people. They get hungry. He started working at 11. It's 7:30. By knew he was going to eat at some point. Maybe you should have said, like, hey, you're not going to be able to eat. Or maybe have that discussion ahead of time, like, hey, when's my break so I can get dinner? That's really the miscommunication. Also, sounds like we've got a groomzilla on our hands, not really a bridezilla. No mention of what the bride said. A little trouble in paradise.
Yeah, a little bit,
maybe.
But Matt, I also, as I'm reading the article, it said a friend. So this is a friend, first of all. You know what they probably didn't do? They probably didn't come up with a contract. Like, they didn't come up with a contract stating, these are the things I get fed. Because even in some of my contracts, like, I actually purposely put the videographer or the photographer gets fed during this time. So that way, if it comes up being like, oh, we didn't have food, it said, well, you agreed in XYZ that you were going to feed me. So I think this is just a very jumbled up story, and it blew out of proportion, and it literally blew up on everybody's face.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that there is like no AC in the place. That probably makes it a little worse. I think it's just hilarious that this guy just like probably looked him dead in the eye and just clicked like delete. Like that's hysterical.
Format the card, baby.
Friendship probably over.
Maybe.
I think this is kind of a tough one to come back from. Probably not going to speak for a few months, at least.
No, not at all. And then how do you feel as like the newlywed? Like, like can't even post pictures on your Instagram or your Facebook. Like, you gotta just strictly take people who take really crappy cell phone pictures. Which, by the way, another thing, there's a reason why a photographer is at the wedding.
Right.
Granted, you're okay with the occasional snap or Instagram story, like, oh, congratulations, but the photos by the photographer are going to turn out so much better than you purposefully like getting in the way of the aisle or getting in the way of the the bridesmaids and the groomsmen and all that. So that's just,
especially during the ceremony, like just let that be for the photographer.
Let it be.
Take some photos at the reception, sure. Especially like if you want to take a group photo of your table, like that's fine. Maybe like one photo of you and the bride, whatever. Who cares? The ceremony should just be the photographer.
Right.
Like that's really what it should be.
Be in the moment.
Yes. Yeah. You personally don't have to take photos of everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we know those people.
Oh.
Oh, man. So, friendship, let's just say, might have ended, but we will see.
And just, Mike, if you want me to be your photographer at your wedding, $750. So.
Well, I believe you might have other responsibilities.
Yeah, I'll get a good close-up, though. I'll be in good position. Literally, you guys be in the first case, I'll just be there like, yep.
I now pronounce you. Wait a minute. What are you doing here? Yeah. Wow. Matt, speaking of relationships, let's move on to another fun story we got for y'all today. Matt, this this individual, a California man, is suing a Los Angeles psychic he paid for fraud because she allegedly claimed she could remove a witch's curse put on him by his ex-girlfriend. The amount of the settlement, I guess, is called, like how much you're suing them for. Is that what it's called? Terminology.
Settlement.
$5,100.
Okay.
Last month, Morrow Rest Repo found psychic Sophia Williams' website that billed her as a PhD life coach and psychic love coach, according to the City News Service in Los Angeles. This made the plaintiff more confident that he was speaking with a professional that could help him. The lawsuit filed Friday. Adams gave Rest Repo a tarot reading when he visited her office in Palos Verdes Estates and told him that he had mala suerte, or bad luck, but there by his ex-girlfriend, which she hired a curse-casting witch. Adams allegedly claimed his family, would be unhappy and in danger unless he paid her $5,100 to remove the curse. Holy crap.
Oh my gosh.
So Rest Repo reportedly paid Adams a $1,000 deposit, but she, quote, did not in any way help his marriage, the lawsuit said. Oh my God. Oh, he's asking for $25,000 in damages. $
25,000 because you thought that your ex put a witch curse on you. I mean, come on now, people. If she would have asked for $50 to do this, I would have been like, yo, that's weird. I'm not doing it. $5,100? Are you serious? I mean, this is worse than like falling for their car's extended warranty phone call. This is worse. I mean, what do you expect here?
It's almost, do you actually go forth and like try to prevent it from happening, or do you end up just taking as is and rolling the dice and hopefully that nothing happens with you and the $5,100 that you don't give to your ex?
I mean, come on now. We got to have some common sense here. Also, who the hell just has $1,000 to just put down a deposit for a reading like this? Like, he just came prepared.
And how? I mean, Matt, have you ever done tarot card readings at all?
I have not.
Okay, I have not either. Good Catholic boys we are. The fact that people listen, like, okay, yeah, granted, like, it's kind of fun, like, when you're just messing around, like, oh, yeah, let's try a tarot card, but, like, to really base your life on a tarot card reading, I don't know how people can function by believing in that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's different because we never did it. And, maybe it'd be fun to do once in a while, yes. I just think when they ask for $5,100, I think you maybe got to take a step back and be like, hey, what are we doing here? Mm-hmm. What $5,100 is a lot. $500 is a lot for this scenario, I would say. This guy really must have went through a lot, though. If he thought he actually had to pay the $5,100, like, I kind of want to know, like, what kind of bad luck he was having.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'd be curious to know what the main cause of it was that allowed this decision to be made. That, oh my gosh, yes, I need to get to a quote life coach, psychic love coach, and be able to prevent this. Granted, must have been a really crappy way to end a relationship, but I don't know. I just it's weird.
Yeah. I also didn't know you could just hire curse casting witches.
What was this? Some type
like,
of
where did you go to college for that? Like Ben Salem University?
Great question. In Massachusetts.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but another thing too, as I've not seen but just understood with tarot card readers, they're solely judging you off of the situation. So, I guess to put it this way, like, if you and I like came in together for a tarot card reading, like, it'd probably be like, oh, like, you guys are gonna be friends for life, because just based on the vibe that we give off to each other. Yep. They give the vibe of, oh, well, these guys are going to be best friends for life. But then for something like this, I'm sure it was, hey, I need to talk to you. My ex-girlfriend gave me this bad juju that I need to pay $5,100 for. What am I going to do? And of course, she's going to share the good news, quote, good news that, yes, oh, yeah, absolutely, I'll help you out.
Yeah. Two other thoughts. What's he gonna do with this $25,000? Like, how do you even come up with that number? I don't understand.
Mental damages? I don't know. Like, how much? And that's another. I don't think health insurance covered this psychic love coach.
I would hope not.
It's not healthcare.
Right. I would hope not. The other thing, I think we just need to tell this guy, keep your head up, King. Keep your head up. It's gonna get better. He obviously just went through a lot.
It's only up from here.
Yes, you're a strong, independent man. You don't need no woman.
Don't need no woman.
Nope. Just, maybe just go get a drink with a friend.
Dude, that's the best.
That absolutely. It cures everything.
Which, by the way, Matt, I know we were probably saving this for the end of end of the show.
Yes.
But would you like to make plans on the podcast as far as where would you like to go eat for dinner next?
I'll have to get back to you on that. I didn't think that far.
So we teased it. So make sure you stay till the end and you'll hear what's happening for next week's show. So, but yeah, I don't believe. I say I don't believe in tarot card readings, and this is just a sub fact that why put all your marbles in one basket for this said situation.
What if she was the curse casting witch?
Like, oh yeah,
Yeah, and she's just kind of like doubled down on it.
Have you watched You at all yet?
No, I really want to.
Okay. Did I ever tell you the joke of what Jenna said to me a couple weeks ago?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so I won't actually give it away, but I've had to bring this up because it's just absolutely hilarious. So Jenna and we tried to watch like shows together. Like we watched Outer Banks. Matt tried to convince me to watch ahead and then review it on the podcast, and I'm like, bad mistake, pal.
It's been a long time since I've been in a relationship, so I still forgot.
So then we started watching, and like Jenna didn't necessarily like the show. So she was at my apartment, not the past weekend, but the weekend before. And, you know, just casually walking away. We were just like, I was talking about Ted Lasso. And she goes, you know what? I really don't like you that much. And I like had to like think, and I like reset. I'm like, wait a minute. She's talking about the show that we watched, not about me.
That is unfortunate. It's a tough name for a show.
And we were laughing for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, do you really not like me?
That is unfortunate, because even you say like, oh yeah, you is the best.
You is the
like,
best.
wait, that's not English, but it actually is when you think of the show.
Oh boy. Well, I hope you get a chance to watch it, Matt. It's a little freaky.
I've heard it's very good.
It's
so
good.
I'll add it. Yeah, I'll save it for the end of the show.
Make sure you watch the show.
I will watch the show.
Okay, great. Because you know you're busy all the time.
Yeah. I got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, Matt. So next time we go for a tarot card reading, we should totally go together.
Absolutely.
So Matt, one final segment. I was a little cryptic again.
Yeah, you really love doing this.
I freaking love it. So Matt, I was taking my way downtown, walking fast, bases passing, I'm homebound. Fluffy dog. And I heard a question on a podcast, and I know this is kind of a take it segment, but I'll reserve it. And this is the question, and we could talk about it.
Okay.
If you had a genie in your life, what would be your 3 wishes? Now, here's the stipulation. I
can't do unlimited wishes.
I will assess this. If there was no bounds, you can't say unlimited wishes. But for this fact, you cannot have unlimited wishes. You cannot force someone to love you.
Okay.
And I think that's it as far as the stipulations. But right on the tripod, I thought we'd discuss it. So, Matt, what would be your 3 wishes?
Wow, this is tough.
Isn't it?
I think one of them would be not... how do I want to phrase this? Not unlimited money, but I never want to have to worry about money.
That's a decent wish.
I think that's fair, so I can like do some things. Another wish. I would be able to travel anywhere I want.
Okay.
Like Italy, France.
How though?
Just everywhere. I don't know why I'm coughing. What do you mean how?
Like flying.
And anyway, I get to travel whenever I want.
So I watch your wishes, because if you wished for decent money and not be worried about money, then you can travel anytime you want by plane.
Yeah.
If you think about it. So you're technically wasting a wish by saying that.
How?
Because if you said you wish that you don't have to worry about money, and let's say you want to go on a trip, and you can't.
Right, but I'm just saying like I can like take off work. But I'm just mean like I can take off work to go traveling whenever I want.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Or actually, I'll change it. So not have to worry about money, and a job that lets me travel.
Okay.
I think that's fair. Because like I don't think like I always thought about this. If I won the lottery right now, if I just won like $1 billion, I think I'd be bored. I don't think I'd want that.
I'd pay off my loans.
I'd pay off my loans, but I think I would just want a little bit where I could like be financially stable, but like also that I still have to work to keep myself busy.
You're right.
Yeah. So a job I can travel with, and then good health for the rest of my life.
That was mentioned on the podcast.
I think that's really underrated. I don't think people think of that one when they think 3 wishes. Because really, if you have good health, then the other 2 wishes you can probably just do forever or until you pass.
So I have a unique one.
Okay, I'm ready.
So I will say good health. But I might even expand it more like closest friends and family and significant other for good health. Here was another thing that I was thinking about. All my ideas at work would be effective. So like it wouldn't be, I wouldn't have a dumb idea. Like it'd always be a good, effective idea that could be implemented and work.
That's a good one. I like that one because there are a lot of times where you do have an idea that you think is good. Maybe it doesn't always pan out. I like that.
I mean, now granted, in order for you to get the best of ideas, you have to have a bull session. So, you know, that's how it usually forms. But, you know, to say like when you're being asked like, oh, what should we do? And you say something like you are 100% knowing that you are making the right quote decision because it's going to effectively work with whatever scenario that it might be about.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good one.
And then I had a third one, but you know, I want to say like I want to know how to cook like everything and like have no worry about it. Like no worry that I'm gonna do it wrong. I'll tell you today, I kind of was inspired by introduction today because I actually made tacos for the week. I've yet to send you a picture. But I was like thinking I mean, yeah, tacos are super easy to make, but thinking like you could make like an amazing burrito or like, you could literally make, if you wanted to, Chick-fil-A nuggets. Like just, you know, just those random things that could be healthy and could be good if you actually cook them yourself or bake them or deep fried them or whatever the purpose is. You'd be able to do it. Like I'd be able to say, oh, I can make, what's like something that's like, I can make, no, ice cream sandwiches, that's kind of weird. Like I can make a, oh gosh, it's not a McDonald's Frosty. That I literally merged two
Wendy's
brands.
Frosty.
What like it's like Oreo.
A Blizzard?
Blizzard.
From Dairy Queen?
No, from McDonald's. Remember those
McFlurry.
like McFlurry. That's what it is.
Yeah, the best.
Duh, Mike. McDonald's mix something. Like I can make a McFlurry from scratch.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's underrated because then you really don't have to go out and spend that much money at restaurants because you can just buy the ingredients, make it at home. I'm always jealous of people that can cook really good. Granted that I can't really cook for shit. Because I don't know, homemade food always tastes better as well.
You should try to make dinner for your family the one night.
That'd be interesting.
You should try that.
That'd be very interesting. I'd probably burn the house down. I took a culinary class in high school, burned myself like 3 different times taking stuff out of the oven.
Were you not wearing any mitts?
Oh, I was. So we didn't have like mitts. We had like little the squares.
Yeah.
And then I would just hold it in the hot pads, correct? The squares, whatever, same thing. That's just how much I cook. So then I just held it wrong, and my finger would always like touch the pan. Not the brightest when it comes to the kitchen.
I took a cooking class that was called Chefs, but it was only for seniors in high school. It was only for seniors that did not take any foods courses. So like you as a senior, like you were taught the basics like pasta, pancakes. What else was another thing that we made? Pasta, pancakes. Yeah, see, it's leaving me. I don't even know what to make anything anymore. Maybe eggs. I don't know. An omelet, maybe.
Okay.
But so yeah, 3 wishes. I was like, I wonder what Matt thinks about this.
Yeah, it's always a tough question because there's just so many you gotta choose from, especially when you can't have unlimited wishes. Like that's an easy cop out.
You know how you do a loophole with that?
How?
Every time I run out of wishes, I get a new genie.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. But does that genie always give you wishes, or does he give you something else? Is it like the Fairly Odd Parents?
That could be negotiated.
Okay.
That could definitely be negotiated. So I thought it was great having multiple genies. They're like, well, like, you know, if laws of physics didn't allow it, like I'd have unlimited wishes. But yeah, they said good health, good eating. Somebody said that they wanted to have like be better fit, like actually to be like sculpted and all that. And like, yeah, I'm okay with my body, but like not enough where like I need to get like ripped.
I think another one maybe be like you can eat whatever you want and not like get fat. That'd be kind of cool because then you could literally just eat whatever and you can eat like all the time and still be in like decent shape. I'm not talking about like you can eat like 7 cheeseburgers and have a 6-pack, but at least do not like obese or anything like that.
What do you think of this controversial wish? Not that I would be interested in it. Not getting, what's the word I'm looking for? Not getting drunk while drinking.
No, because not saying I love getting drunk every time I drink, but like sometimes alcohol doesn't always taste the best. So sometimes you drink it to get a little bit of the effect. So if you don't get affected at all, then I'm not going to drink the alcohol if it doesn't taste good.
How about never getting a hangover? Like that's a wish.
I feel like that's a good one in your 20s. I feel like once we turn 30, like that's really not going to be effective for us because like we don't want to be hungover when we're 30.
Matt's
I don't want to be hungover right now and I'm 25.
Let's go to the bar. Like Matt's just like slinging shots and it's just completely just messed up.
Yeah, I'm like 40 years old, like holding like my newborn like on my shoulder, just like pounding him back.
Doing body shots from your own child.
Oh, what?
Like belly shots, like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that actually did sound wrong.
What?
I said body.
I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Hey, shut up, Matt. Get your head out of the freaking gutter, okay?
You're the one that brought it up.
Can you get closer to the microphone? I'm gonna have more problems editing.
You're the one that brought it up.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Like belly shots. Like you remember like.
Yeah, no, I got it. But like.
Sorry.
Let's move on.
Sorry.
Before you get canceled.
What? Oh God! All right. Well, yeah. Genie in a Bottle. That's by TLC, right? No. Who sings Genie in a Bottle? Genie.
It's a great question.
Bottle. Okay. Well, we're gonna look that up. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Thank some sponsors, and when we come back, Matt's got La Jugar Sports. I tried saying Spanish sports, but I don't remember it. Sports. Let's say you start a podcast or you're running your own side hustle and have a bunch of links that you want your audience to know about. As a podcast, Matt and I have all of our social media, all of our podcast links, and other important things. Make it easier for your followers to find your important links, social media, and latest content by having it all in one page with solo.to. I'll be honest, I have used similar websites like this, but nothing compares to solo.to. All of your links are clean and easy to navigate. Have an upcoming video? It's really easy to make those changes. Plus, solo.to has opportunities to upgrade to include more customization, advanced analytics, and so much more. Solo.to is giving us a special opportunity for you to get 10% off if you create an account and upgrade. Be sure to go to solo.to/funnybusiness to create your account today. Solo.to, it's the way to go. Do you think, Matt, people are tired of hearing our Anchor ad?
Yeah, probably. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for Anchor, we would not be doing a podcast.
You're right, Matt. Once again, we have to thank Anchor for helping us continue to make each episode. Y'all know how it works. Anchor is free. It's easy to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and distributes your podcast to platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And you all know that you can make money too, even with the first couple episodes that you start with.
So why haven't you started your own podcast yet? Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
So, Mike, when do you think we'll stop talking about Anchor?
Oh, man, Matt. You know what? To be completely honest, I think we'll be talking about this for a long time.
Okay, Mike, who sang that song?
Christina Aguilera.
There we go.
We
told you we'd figure it out, people.
I almost froze. I'm like, who?
And now let's slide in sports topics we have for you all today. Let's start with some Major League Baseball. We'll get the Yankees out of the way. They suck. Yeah, I don't know why we had any faith. We did it to ourselves. As the great, is it Dennis Green?
Oh,
the late great Dennis Green, the football coach, said they are who we thought they were. We let them off the hook. Yeah, they suck. I don't know why I had any expectations. But the big story ahead of the game, Mike, what was worse during this awful wildcard game? Which, by the way, thank you for everyone who turned into the stream. I don't know why I did that to myself. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea.
I was enjoying great games of Rocket League. I can't really deny that.
You know, the first, as much as the game sucked from the beginning, the first hour was fun. And then I just got depressed.
Yeah, you really did.
Yeah, it was bad.
You're like, oh, that's the season.
Yeah, it was like the fourth inning. I was like, well, hopefully Aaron Boone gets fired. But Mike, the only funny thing to come out of this whole night. Now, I love John Sterling. For those that don't know, John Sterling is a longtime Yankees radio broadcaster. One of the all-time worst calls of all time. So in the first inning, Giancarlo Stanton hits a ball to deep left field. And let's get this also out of the way. The cameraman made it seem like he hit it out of the park. Regardless, bounces off the green monster. Stanton didn't run out of the box. He got a single. Well, poor John Sterling, who was actually at Fenway Park, so he really, I don't know how he messed it up. He just called it like a regular home run, called it his typical Stantonian blast, does the whole thing, and then he just goes, wait, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? One of the funniest things. So what was worse, the actual game the Yankees played or the home run call?
I really don't want to go against John Sterling, but I feel like it had to be that. Because it's just adding insult to injury. Like, what did we lose? 5-2?
I've thrown that memory out of my brain. Yeah. I think it was 6-2.
I'll have to check on the stream because we have a VOD of that. Yeah, I mean, truth be told, John Sterling is a really great broadcaster. Yes. He's done it for so long. He's called so many games. Like, you think this would be a routine thing, and it was just how? Like, and I don't want to try to back John up, but well, thank you, Susan. To say that if the cameraman had issues, then everyone else in the ballpark had issues too.
You know what? That's a great point. Didn't really think of that. Wow, you nailed that John Sterling impression.
Oh, thank you.
That was pretty good. I think it might be a little. I think it's well, Susan. I think when he first comes on, he goes, "Well, Susan." I think I haven't listened to him in forever. I gotta get back to listening to him.
Yeah.
I think his call was worse. Mostly because I think we all sort of seen this coming from the Yankees. Because let's be real, they just haven't played well. And then going forward the next season, Aaron Boone was kind of just like, "Hey, if I come back, I come back. If I don't, I don't." So that's kind of like, okay, well, screw you, dude.
Sayonara.
And then the rest of the team, yeah, Garrett Cole pitched very bad, but whatever. You're obviously bringing him back. You're obviously bringing Judge back. I think the only other person you definitely keep is Stanton, which is really weird to say. This is also a weird stat, Mike. So you think of Giancarlo Stanton, since he joined the Yankees, injured all the time, doesn't really play a whole lot, right? In the past 5 years, Giancarlo Stanton has played more games than Mike Trout.
What?
Yeah. In the past 5 years, Giancarlo Stanton has played more regular season games combined in the past 5 years than Mike Trout with the Angels. who's known as like the best player in baseball.
And he's injured.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, right? Because Mike Trout's won like, what, 3 MVPs?
Yeah.
And everyone thinks ever since Stanton came to the Yankees, he's injured and can't play. But it's really Mike Trout. Because Mike Trout, I think, was out since like June this year. It's just a crazy stat. But yeah, I don't care if they blow up the whole team. I don't care.
Kind of have to at this point.
And honestly, like, we've been wrecking on Aaron Boone the whole time. But at one point, do you point the finger at Brian Cashman, the GM? Because, like, he's the one in charge of this.
Right.
Could you imagine what would happen with this payroll if the boss, George Steinbrenner, was still alive?
Yeah. I don't think it would have happened in the first place if he was still alive.
True. I think he just would have fired the grounds crew. He just would have fired everybody.
Yeah.
Would have been a total axing of everybody. Let's stay in baseball, talk some actual playoffs. It's been a good playoff so far, very exciting. We did have a quote-unquote controversial play that happened on Sunday with Game 3 of the Tampa Bay Rays Boston Red Sox. So the Red Sox walked it off, 2-run walk-off home run in the bottom of the 13th inning. The controversy, if you want to call it a controversy, happened in the top of the 13th. So Tampa Bay had a runner on first base. Outfielder Kevin Kiermaier hit a ball to deep right field. So, for those that don't know, Fenway Park has 2 very extreme walls. Left field green monster is just ginormous. And then the right field wall is literally like 2 feet high. Like, it's maybe not literally 2 feet high. It's very small. So, if it's a normal wall, it bounces off the wall. Guy from first probably scores. Kiermaier probably gets a triple. However, what happened, this ball bounces right before the wall, bounces off the wall towards the right fielder who accidentally kicked the ball over the fence. So, kind of cost the Rays a run because by rule, it's a ground rule double. So the runner on first can only advance to third. So then they had second and third. Tampa Bay ended up not scoring. Boston walked it off. People are very mad because it's not like it just bounced over the wall on its own. They're mad because the Red Sox defender actually kicked it over the fence. So he's the one that kind of made it go out of play. So people are like, why does that have to be a ground rule double? But by rule, they got the call correct. So I don't know what your thoughts are on this.
Yeah, I had to look at it. That's where while you were explaining it, I was just making sure. I think that the one play, I should say, that comes up when I could have sworn I thought it was the Yankees, but I don't think it's true. There was a home run that was hit that actually bounced off of somebody's head and it actually landed in over the fence for a home run. Do you know what I'm talking about?
That was Jose Canseco.
Yeah. And that was a home run. And, you could say that, oh, well, they're upset because it should have been a ground rule double. But in reality, it was a home run because it never touched the ground. Mm-hmm. I think in true fashion, the not the grounds crew, but the umpires got it right with a ground rule double. And again, just the simple fact that baseball is very weird when it comes to infield plays. Like, if, let's just say in the scenario, it happened that it was a throw to first base, routine throw to first base. First baseman misses it and it bounces in the stands. Okay, well, that's a dead ball. That's ground rule double. But what if he missed it on purpose? Like, what if he missed it on purpose, still stay in the field, and he just took it and throw it in the stands? That's the same thing.
Exactly. That's what people's argument were. They said, what happened if the outfielder just picked it up and tossed it over the fence? Like, essentially, that's kind of the same thing. But it's not. Also, it's like a weird gray area.
Right.
So, like, I don't really, like, does it suck? Yes, because the video replay does show that, like, the dude's easily going to score from first if it doesn't go over the fence. But can they really be mad because that's technically, like, they got the call right?
They got the call right.
And now people are going to say that, like, oh, guys are just going to start picking up the ball and throwing it over the fence. No one's going to do that.
Yeah, they would probably get tossed if that was the case. Like, they're going to get tossed because it's not gamesmanship. Like, they could understand the trick ball play, but for just blatantly throwing it out, like, Yeah, it's dumb.
Now, do you think this is something they should look into going forward? Because how do you even look into something so gray matter as this?
I think you just got to prevent it from happening. And like, yeah, what do you do? Oh, you add rules to it. But, like I was saying, how are you preventing it? Like if people are just going to start throwing balls out of the park because, oh, well, crap, like not a good idea. I think it's like when the Astros started playing again the following season, and it's like, okay, set of rules stated where, you hit an Astros. I forget what the stipulations was, but there was like a breakdown of all the stuff that stipulated into like, oh, you're going to get thrown out, you're suspended, like all that stuff. Like, I think if they start seeing it early on, whether it's in the playoffs or next season, they need to make rules immediately being like, okay, if you do this, you're getting thrown out and you're getting fined. Like, that's not baseball.
Right. And I really don't think people are going to start doing that because like people would have thought of that a long time ago.
Yeah, right.
Brought up the Astros.
Shuck it.
Could you imagine?
Well, I'm not getting this in the field.
Yep. Speaking of the Astros, the White Sox are now accusing them of cheating again.
Oh, again.
Yep. So here we go. It's really just time is just one giant clock, and it just keeps happening yet time and again. Let's finish up with some college football, Mike. Just a crazy weekend in college football. Number one Alabama lost at Texas A&M. Good game between Penn State and Iowa. So Iowa beat Penn State at home. Yes, Penn State's quarterback did get injured. Yes, the backup quarterback might be the worst quarterback in the history of football.
Oh boy,
it was just so bad, really bad. And yes, Iowa did storm the field as they were favorites, which is just really, really weird.
That's why I was gonna like. I saw pictures from the night, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, because I saw it, like I zoomed in up on like the standings, and I'm like, but Penn State is below. I'm like,
Iowa's with the favorites. They're at home. Like, here's the thing. I understand people are gonna say like they're college kids, let them have fun. Yes, that's true. Fine, have fun. However,
they start setting things on fire and flipping cars over. Like, yeah,
exactly. Storming the field should just never happen. Like that. As if I was ever an athletic director, that would be my biggest fear is storming the field, because we saw it when Texas A&M stormed the field when they beat Alabama this past weekend. Like, police officers had to like huddle around Nick Saban so he didn't get like punched in the face. Right. Like, it's just not safe. Like, yes, it's a really cool scene, and yeah, as a college kid, would I probably want to do it too? Yes.
Yep.
Just should not be a thing. So lots of upsets recently, which means, Mike, there's a good chance get some new teams in the college football playoff. So right now, if it would end, college football playoffs would be Georgia against Oklahoma, which we've seen that game before. That's fine.
Okay.
And then you'd have Iowa versus Cincinnati. So my question, we always talk about how it's always the same four teams in college football. It's always, Bama and Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, yada, yada, yada. And we say we want to see some new teams. But now we're seeing the new teams could be like Iowa versus Cincinnati. Who wants to watch that game?
Anybody?
Like, yeah, I'm all for new teams. And I would probably tune in. But like, is the casual fan really going to tune in to Iowa versus Cincinnati?
No. Unless it's the tailgate.
That's true. So I don't know. Is this a good or a bad thing for college football?
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just from a business perspective, they're all going to be like, "Oh crap, we're going to lose so much money because we don't have the top teams like college football, like yada yada yada." But I mean, from an admissions standpoint, here you go, me being the admissions guy, like, that's good. Like, it's good that you're having a winning football team and they're going to these playoffs. But, if it's only for just 1 year, what's the point? Like, team can do well the 2 years that they're doing well, and now they suck after the year. Like, you're gonna base your success off of one college football playoff run? No, you're not.
I think this is also going to be a big year for the committee going forward, and if they do expand. Because let me throw this scenario at you. Let's say Oklahoma goes undefeated. They're getting in. Let's say Cincinnati, not really a Power 5 school, not really known as like a big program. Let's say they go undefeated. Then let's say, I don't know, Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship game. So then are you going to leave out a one-loss Alabama team who won their conference championship? And then would you leave out a one-loss Georgia team who lost to Alabama in a better conference over Cincinnati? And then let me throw this at you. Ohio State only has one loss. What if they win the Big Ten? We could have a scenario where Cincinnati right now is ranked third, goes undefeated, and they could still get left out. If that happens, everyone's going to lose their minds and say that it's all rigged and it's all about the money. And it really, it's going to show that it's all about the money because they just want the big name schools. Yeah. So this could be a really dicey year for expansion of the playoffs and for college football, because if that happens and Cincinnati goes undefeated and gets left out, people are going to be irate.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a business perspective. You got to be careful with your decisions because you're going to see it's going to bleed right through. Like, there's no covering it up. There's no throwing it under the mat. Like, it is going to bleed, and there's no Band-Aid that's going to be bigger than trying to stop it. Like, so.
Yeah, I think the best case scenario would be to get like a new Big Ten team like Penn State or Michigan or Iowa. Yep. Maybe Alabama gets left out. Maybe you have a Georgia. Or I think the best case scenario, if they really do want like change, is to hope you have like two usual teams and two new teams. Like a little bit of excitement, but still get some normalcy in it. I don't know. I'm excited. It's also like we're not even halfway through college football season. Who knows what can happen? And that'll conclude the sports topics we have for you all today. It is time for buy or sell. Mike, I think you usually go first in this segment, so I will let you go first. You can just do both, buy and sell.
Oh, I was going to let you go first.
Oh, you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Hi, Sir Matthew. I let you go first.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I have two of each.
Same.
There we go. All right. My first buy is Perseverance. Buying Perseverance. Anyone struggling through college right now, you're not alone. J.R. Smith got an 85 on his liberal studies midterm. Round of applause for J.R. Smith. Round of applause. Great job. So he's crushing it. He also competed in his first NCAA tournament this week. And apparently he's crushing it. He had like 4 birdies on his first day. As of today's recording, it was his first day. So don't give up on your dreams, kids. Don't do it.
The Lakers actually retweeted a photo. It's like October 11th, 2020 NBA championship. October 11th, 2021 college golf debut. Keep doing your thing at the real J.R. Smith. This is the official brand. The Lakers retweeting a photo, pulling up to the range at my first college tournament. And it's literally a gif of Tiger Woods.
Oh, it's the best. He's the best. It's also weird that, you're right, 1 year ago today, the Lakers won the 2020 NBA championship, and not even like 3 months ago they had another NBA championship. That's crazy to think of.
Can we just go back to the fact of you and I texting each other during that happening? We're like, oh, Dwight Howard just hit a 3, and then J.R. Smith is shirtless.
Yeah, that was incredible. I'm also buying Netflix because there's just too many good things to watch, and I can't keep up. Really can't keep up. I really don't know if I can watch Squid Games.
I
want to get into it. How was it?
It's weird.
I've heard it's weird, but it's good.
I guess the story will enhance it a little bit more. I only watched episode 1, and poor Jenna, she's like, "This is so weird." I'm like, "I know, but that's the point." Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just so many good stuff to watch, and I just don't have enough time. But I'm buying it because, like, I want to start getting more into Netflix. My sell, I am selling being responsible. So there's a news story of a man in Shreveport, Louisiana, who won the Powerball jackpot. Did I get the story wrong?
Maybe.
Okay, so he did not win. But he was being interviewed because the pot was like 700 million. So they asked him, what would you do if you win? Now, most people pay some bills, live luxury. Guy who's, we're going to call him James, said, quote, on the news, well, I'm definitely going to get a new supercharged Mustang with dual exhaust and about 5 kilos of cocaine. What? That'll be good to go. So, yeah.
Is he gonna buy a shotgun and be a drug dealer after that?
You know what? He might just be the new star of Narcos on Netflix. So that's a little bit of an extreme. So I guess being responsible has just gone out the window. And then I'm also selling money because I'm just buying every Halloween costume this year. I now have like 3.
What'd you buy now?
So I have Buddy the Elf. I'm still trying to do the Average Joes for work.
Okay.
And then somehow I got roped into being Bugs Bunny from the new Space Jam. So I bought like the Space Jam jersey and shorts.
How'd you get roped into that?
I don't really want to get into that.
Okay.
It might be, to pair up with someone. So we'll get there. But yeah, so okay. I'm just buying every Halloween costume this year. I have like 3.
It's okay, Matt. You could tell everybody that we're going as, I'm being Lola and you're being Bugs Bunny.
Someone's being Lola.
Yeah, that's me.
And I might be Bugs. Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. But yeah, so just selling all of my money.
Wow.
I also did get a credit card for the first time.
Oh, did you really? What kind?
Yes, I finally got one. It's like a cash rewards card with my bank.
I love how you keep the brand out of it in case somebody wants to sponsor us.
Yep. There we go. I'm always thinking up here, buddy.
Well, I'm totally going to rip off the brands and the sponsorships for my buy or sell.
I love it. Let's hear it.
I'm going to go with my sell first. I'm selling October weather. It is a freaking awkward time of the year if you're living in the state of Pennsylvania. Because in the morning, it's 40 degrees. It's bitchin' cold, and then by 3 o'clock it's 70 degrees and it's a nice hot sunny day, summer day. I'm not about that. Like, I wore a long sleeve, was totally fine in the morning, and then I was outside at 3 o'clock today. It felt like I needed to have shorts on. Don't know why October's being this way.
You know what's worse? You have to turn your heat on in your car when you get up in the morning.
Yes,
and then you get back in your car and you gotta switch it back to the AC. And then I forget to switch it back when I get home. And it's just a constant cycle, and I hate it. I just give me winter at this point. Just
please.
Do it.
Oh
just,
my god!
Just rip the Band-Aid off. Like I also hate like the one good thing about winter. You can just leave a water bottle in your car, and it's cold 24/7. Like that's the only thing I'm looking forward to.
Good advice. Keep a water bottle in the car. And then second one, I know this is a cop out. The sun. I got sunburn during homecoming in October. Now, Matt, I know you got a ridiculous sunburn the last time you were at homecoming, but I got the worst of it, and it's fine now. You can't see it anymore. But holy crap! Like, I looked like a lobster in October.
No one's stronger than the sun. No one.
But you get so not lost, but you get so confused because it's October. You think to yourself, "Oh, it's getting into fall. Like, I don't have to wear sunscreen anymore." But really, in reality, you do.
Yeah, no, it is weird because you don't think like October is it's gonna be cloudy, and then like usually you can feel the sunburn coming because it's like super hot.
Yeah. Like you,
and and it really throws you off.
Yeah, so that's my sell. My buy, Ted Lasso. I want to buy Ted Lasso.
Ooh.
It has probably been one of the best TV shows that I have watched in a long time.
Wow.
And it's a statement. Like, I think it's better than Outer Banks. Like,
wow, that's saying something.
Yeah. For being the soccer player that I was back in high school, like, that is a nice touch. And then Jason Sudeikis, if you don't know who Jason Sudeikis is, we're the Millers, the father. Like, that's
great actor.
Plays a great coach, a great dad coach. So it was phenomenal with all his jokes that has come through. One of the things, and I'll say it and I'll spare it. There was one time, I guess, him and his manager were talking about attention. And he's like, wow, he's like, that's probably worse than, that's probably worse, something like bad, something worse. That's worse than wearing a red hat at a women's rights movement. And
no.
like, you're totally under the table, but you knew exactly what Ted Lasso was talking about. So highly recommend. It's on Apple TV Plus. Apple literally just shoves Apple TV Plus subscriptions, free trial subscriptions down people's throats when they buy new products, or just randomly it shows up on your Apple TV or just your iPhone. So take advantage of it. There's 2 seasons of it. They just wrapped up the season finale this past Friday on episode 77. So take advantage of the 2 seasons, because it is a sight to behold. With that, so
Jason Sudeikis is funny. He's just a cool dude. He is,
and it's also a great cast that you don't know a whole lot about. Like Ted Lasso, yeah, great guy, great actor, great person to center around the whole thing. He wrote Ted Lasso on of all things, but like the supporting actors that play along, like Roy Kent, oh gosh, I forget. Is it Coach Beard? Coach Beard's another one. It's just the character list. Like you get so attached to everyone. Like and that is just how I really loved Ted Lasso, and I really I hate that if it comes out with another season and anytime soon, I'm gonna watch it. But on top of that, they better come out with it soon, because my free trial's running out. I don't want another subscription on top of that.
Didn't it just come out though? The last season recently.
Season 2 just finished up last week.
Yeah.
So
don't they usually do like a year apart?
I don't know actually. Actually, you might be right. You might be right. So
I think that's usually what most streaming things do.
Season 3 Ted Lasso.
I'm trying to think of the last like new thing I've watched.
Season 3 is confirmed for a quote likely August 2022 return. Well, that's when my Apple TV subscription comes out. Son of a bitch. Mom, Dad, I know what I want for my birthday.
Yep, there we go.
And then my final buy, pizza.
Yeah.
I had the best pizza I think I ever had this past weekend at Jenna's. I will not mention the name, but I had buffalo chicken pizza, wood-fired cooked pizza, baked. Yeah, bake or cook. Do you cook pizza or do you bake pizza?
I embrace the bait.
Yeah.
You cook
right?
it.
You cook it. No, yeah. Cook. I thought you put in. Well, okay, you put it in the oven. You bake it.
I think it's cooking.
Okay.
I don't think it's baking because like
whatever. Whatever. But I sat there with a nice IPA. Jenna had a margarita pizza, which also have gluten-free options too, which was even doubly awesome. But I was living my life. Like I was living my best life Friday night, having some great pizza, beer, and the love of my life across the table. It was fairly priced correctly too. So it wasn't like something ridiculous. Like I would have paid more for as good as it was, but it was decently priced.
I feel like wood-fired pizza is always better.
Wood-fired, coal-fired, anything that's natural. They always say like, oh, like it may be burnt, but it still tastes good. Like it tastes phenomenal. Like it always does. And for people being in NEPA, like pizza has been a huge thing for us as part of a staple for NEPA, which is weird. But yeah, I had the best pizza I think I've ever had in my lifetime. And I will state that on the podcast.
Didn't they just open a Blaze Pizza up there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna shut up and stop talking.
Jen and I went there. And that's my buy and sell.
Okay. Good. Good thing I interjected there. I'm really glad.
It's just, you ever been to Mod Pizza? That's always a question that comes up in our podcast. You ever been to Mod Pizza? Yeah, no, I haven't.
Yeah.
I've been to Anthony's Coal-Fired. I've been to Anthony's Coal-Fired Pizza.
I've never heard of them.
See, and then that's it. The switcheroo.
This segment has gone off the rails.
Yep. Nope. Let's bring it back together. So thank you all so much for another great episode of the Funny Business Podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are watching our episodes from the Tubes Ubes. If you also want to follow all of our other social media, you can find all of our social media at solo.to/funnybusiness. Facebook, for some reason, decided to get into the podcasting world, and now they're releasing our episodes on our Facebook page, facebook.com/funnybusinessentertainment. I mean, come on, guys. You can't give an excuse that you can't listen to our podcast because it's literally freaking everywhere.
Yeah.
The only thing that's not available is on our Twitch, because that's live crap, and you'll love live crap more than pre-recorded crap. So, make sure you subscribe to that too if you can, if you want to use your Amazon Prime subscription and be able to get a free Amazon Prime subscription to Funny Business EN. Mr. Matthew.
Yes, sir.
Any announcements, advice that will go for miles?
Advice. Let's go with some advice. So I got a new credit card, or I got a credit card, first one ever. Be responsible with it. Don't just like let the bill sit there. Maybe build some credit. If you spend like $50 you charge your credit card, maybe the next day go online and pay it right away. I used it for the first time, actually bought the Bugs Bunny thing with it. I went online today and paid it off right away. Just to build some credit, Also, I had a fantastic credit score when I came in the mail. I'm not going to say it. I'll tell you afterwards. But just for everyone in the Funny Business Podcast, it was nice.
It's good credit. Good credit's good credit.
It was nice credit. Yeah. But yeah, just be responsible with it.
Don't ever use your credit card for something you can't afford.
Yes. Yeah. Because that's really when you get into the deep trouble. Make sure you have the funds to pay it off.
The deep doo-doo.
Yeah.
The doo.
Unless you just throw it on the card.
Yep.
Because you always do that. Yeah.
Throw it on the card.
Absolutely.
But you're able to pay it off with the card. So if you throw it on the card, that means you can pay it off with the card.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, okay. Mm-hmm. That's it, Matt?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's it. I think so, yeah. As far as now, I think that's it.
You sure about that?
I can't.
Are you sure about that?
I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
Okay. Fine. I guess
for now.
I guess I'll wrap up, right?
Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Wait, by the way, guys. Save it to the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah, actually.
You said you were saving something else for the podcast, the end of the podcast. And I'm like,
that was the Netflix thing.
Oh.
Because we talked about you.
Oh. Yes. Yeah, next week's an in-person podcast. I'm just going to say it right now. It's an in-person podcast.
Hell yes. So, let's freaking go.
Matt is going to be at my house again on the couch.
I think it's going to be is it going to be a little bit of a different episode? Kind of.
You're going to hear it, the both of us. Still.
Yeah.
That's not going to change.
Absolutely not. I never will.
Never will. Unless we expand and we take over the world with other podcasters around that want to join us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it'll be fun. We haven't done one in, oh my gosh. It's had been like since April.
It was episode
May
49 because that was when I said episode first.
Yes. That is correct. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time, so I'm looking forward to it. I know. I always love in-person podcasts. I know you guys do too, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned, everyone. And until the next time, we'll see you all in the next episode.
Stay safe, everyone.